Trump claimed India was reselling Russian oil at a profit and threatened a tariff hike on Indian goods, suggesting duties could go up by as much as 25% plus penalties. But when questioned about his own country's ongoing trade with Russia, specifically uranium and fertilizers, his response was startling.
President, India says that the US imports Russian uranium, chemicals, fertilizers, while criticizing their energy imports. Your response to that, sir?
I don't know anything about it. I'd have to check, but we'll get back to you on that. Yeah, please.
And here's where the hypocrisy thickens. Official trade data shows that while the United States publicly calls out other nations for trading with Moscow, it continues to import billions of dollars worth of Russian goods, often in critical sectors shielded from sanctions. In fact, from January to May 2025, US imports from Russia actually rose by 23% compared to the same period last year. Let's break down the numbers. Fertilizers, $1.3 billion in 2024. Palladium, $878 million. Uranium, $624 million. Aircraft engine parts, $75 million. Service exports to Russia, $1.3 billion. Total imports from Russia, which is from January to May 2025, it accounts to $2.1 billion. So when Trump says Russia and the USA do almost no business together, it raises eyebrows, because that's simply not true. Fertilizer imports are booming. In the first 5 months of 2025 alone, the US bought $806 million worth of Russian fertilizers, a 60% jump compared to 2021. And uranium imports are up 147% from early 2021 levels. Even the US Trade Representative has admitted these imports, especially nuclear fuel and rare metals, are too critical to cut off. America, it seems, cannot afford to sanction everything. The European Union tells a similar story. While publicly decrying Russia's actions, European ports remain open to Russian liquefied natural gas. In 2024, LNG imports from Russia hit a record 16.5 million tons, beating the previous high from 2022. In total, EU-Russia goods trade reached 67.5 billion euros in 2024, while services trade added another 17.2 billion euros. From mining equipment to steel, chemicals and transport machinery, business quietly continues. So when New Delhi says the West is practicing selective morality, it's hard to argue otherwise. India's energy choices, officials argue, are grounded in necessity, not profit. As prices soared post-Ukraine war, India needed a stable and affordable energy supply for its 1.4 billion citizens. Russian oil filled that gap without violating Western-imposed price caps. Meanwhile, the US and Europe have carved out convenient exceptions for themselves. Fertilizers, LNG, uranium, palladium, all considered too strategic to sanction. This, while threatening tariff war on nations like India, who arguably played by the very rules the West once recommended. Trump's suggestion that India is profiting from Russian oil misses the larger question: who benefits from controlling the narrative? The US, while slamming others for energy ties with Russia, continues to profit from strategic imports: fertilizers to support agriculture, uranium to fuel its reactors, palladium for high-tech manufacturing, all critical sectors, all quietly untouched by sweeping sanctions. As India pushes back diplomatically, Washington's tone appears less about policy and more about pressure. Whether it's a signal to allies or political posturing is unclear. But what is clear is the data, and the data exposes a pattern of rules for some and exceptions for others. Bureau Report, India Today Global.